Hey Taurus, I'm sorry that you're last, but it's the way it actually shook out. So Taurus, it's your turn. I've got a new lighting going on, I've got a new camera going on, and I'm using my laptop. It makes uploading way quicker and editing way quicker, even though I don't actually edit my videos. I don't like snip them apart and splice them back together and stuff. I kind of like the authentic element. Not that there's anything wrong with anybody else doing it. I don't have the time, half the time to even do everybody's readings. We're going to do your October general read. Please check the description box for everything you need to know, in addition to where you can look up your natal chart so you can see what your rising moon and Venus sign are. Please also watch for your rising moon and Venus sign. Today is the day of the partial lunar eclipse in Libra. We're going to start with your Elle Oracle, and then we'll move into, I've got 3 new decks also that I've bought over the last few months that I haven't even been able to use. So it is my vacation, but I also got a second job. So today's my last day off before I start working again, even though I'm not supposed to start working again until next Monday. So I'm hoping to also I'm going to roll right into love readings. And then by the end of the month, I do have a personal commitment to my channel to make sure that I do my Wheel of the Year readings as well. So anyway, we're going to use the Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg to do your spread. We're going to do a 10-card spread. Just a little bit different than we normally do. So yeah, let's... what just happened there? Something happened with our video. That was really weird. Did you see that? I wonder if it'll show up on camera. It was like the screen went off or something. That was really kind of freaky. It happened again. What's going on here? What's the problem? Anyway, we'll see. We'll see if it continues, and then we'll see if it's a technical issue or not. Because this hasn't happened yet before at all. Okay. What's your Elle Oracle card? She Who Hopes, Renee. Love, hope, relationships. There you go. That's a nice one. I don't think I've had anybody get this card yet. So you see there? Isn't that gorgeous? It is quite gorgeous, eh? So I think for you, this is about expressing yourself as far as love goes, and making sure that you're putting the appropriate energy and action in when it comes to your relationships. However, I think it's also about turning inwards and providing that to yourself. It's not always about other people, it's also about yourself. What's going on here with this? Why are we glitching? That's so weird. Why is that happening? That's so weird. I can't just be seeing that myself. Anyway, all right, yeah. You might also just need to maintain some sense of faith and hope in relationships for yourself. You know, especially if you don't have a current romantic partner, that could absolutely be the case, is to, take some time to yourself and really express that love inwards. Yeah. It's really interesting here on the card. I see a mask down here. I see a mask there. But when I turn it around, I don't see it anymore. That's weird. Anyway, let's move forward. Why are all the weird things happening during the end of the last sign? Probably because I haven't done one in so long. Okie dokie. Again, we're going to do a 10-card horseshoe. What that entails is 5 different positions with 2 cards in each position. Again, because if you've been here before, you might know I do flippers and jumpers only up to 3 per, so if 3 flip or 3 jump out and land on the table, I take them. If more than 3 land on the table and I pick them up and 1 sticks, of course I'm going to take that, because there are only happy accidents on this channel. Please like, share, and subscribe. If anything that I'm saying makes any sense to you, or you enjoy what I do. And again, I am going through kind of a period of reevaluation and kind of changing things up around here, which you tend to do. I remember I've had this channel for quite some time, and I actually at one point just scrapped all of my previous videos, and people would be like, "No, you moron, what are you doing?" Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that you lose your entire view count when that happens. But yeah, I did start over at one point. I had a ton of readings before, a ton of views also. All right, twist for fairness. Current energy for you, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What do we got? That's too many. Well, that isn't. We have the Four of Swords in the reverse. Either the need for meditation, grounding, quiet repose, and contemplative energy, or coming out of it after a time where healing was required, where there might have been heartbreak or pain. For me, in this particular pose, it seems to be that there is an emergence after dealing with heartbreak, pain, and there's a meditation and quiet time, rest, sleeping it off under a tree perhaps, time to go within, to encounter the dream state even, but mindfulness and loving kindness meditation. And through those practices, you've been able to reinvigorate yourself, rejuvenate where needed. And now it's time to emerge, healed, and ready to take on the world. Just give me a second. I'm going to close this so I can make sure that I'm not dealing with a problem because of one of these things being open. Okay, all right. What else in the current energy for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? Okay, the Empress. This is your card. You share this with Libra, which we are in Libra season right now, but this is about connectedness with the earth. You might be trying to connect with the earth, going out into nature a little bit more, trying to... Oh, I've got a phone call coming in. Just give me a sec. Sorry about that. So we have the Empress, is what I was saying. Empress here. This is getting connected with nature, making sure that you're going out and becoming grounded through that. And a lot of times it's really simple. A lot of people think that you have to be like a super outdoors person, you know, go camping or hiking or go on a nature retreat or some crap like that. No, you don't. It's really going to the beach and feeling your toes in the sand, or sitting and looking out over the water at a lake, or, you know, going into the forest and listening to the sounds of the birds and the wind and the trees. It can even just be sitting on a bench in a park and imagining that you have roots going from your feet down into the ground all the way to the center of the earth. And that is grounding and centering. It really is that simple. Nothing has to be like really whimsical about it, you know. The more complicated we make things, the more difficult it is, you know. And we want to make it easy. We have to make it easy. So when it comes to this, connectedness with the earth is super important. Right now you're trying to connect with the earth, and it's for the betterment of your creativity and your inspiration. The Empress is a figure who is highly connected, a feminine figure who either has Taurus or Libra in their chart. They're highly connected with the earth, extremely creative, connected with the arts, music, drawing, just all of the arts, the fine arts. You can see it's like Life Path 3, because I am a Life Path 3, so I often think about this card. Interestingly enough, we're about to shift away from the North Node, South Node axis of Libra and Taurus. Or, I'm sorry, not Libra, Taurus, Libra, Aries. My South Node is in Libra and my North Node is in Taurus. But this card talks about learning how to harness the energy of the earth. I do think it is fascinating, though, that we are about to shift South Node, North Node into the Virgo Pisces axis from the Libra Aries axis. And I think that's why this reminded me of my North Node, South Node, and how there's going to be a shift there. As a Taurus individual, you have strengths and you have challenges that are connected with this card, with inspiration, with your connectedness with nature, with grounding and centering, because it is about foundational success, and foundations, security and stability is a part of who you are. And your ability to bring it to other people is a part of who you are. However, as a fixed sign, you have to remember that there is something, a building, that you require inspiration in order to motivate you towards, and where you must acquiesce to other people, and where you must be more direct and action oriented. And I don't want to paint everybody with a broad brush, because generalizations sometimes don't serve everybody super well. But this card absolutely does speak to the need to do so, because connectedness with the earth reminds us of how the planet acquiesces. Listen to the word itself, acquiesce. Water moves around things. It doesn't sit, it's not ice. That's like an ice cube that just sits there like a block, right? You must acquiesce to people. You must be flexible and adaptable. And then there are other times when you must be action-oriented, and you must be proactive, and you must create, as opposed to being the fixed and stable individual, the fence post that offers support. And this is a reminder for you to get grounded and stable and connect with nature in order to understand best how you can serve others, but also yourself for your highest good. Being that stable pillar of support for other people and being a stable pillar for yourself does not help you grow. You're not challenging yourself if you stay in one spot. You're not improving, and you're not discovering things about yourself or about those around you, or building new pathways for yourself and those around you, for your relationships with those people, if you're consistently staying fixed and in the same energy, the same mindset, the same thought processes. When we get comfortable, things end up changing for us, and the invitation here is for you to connect with nature, to remind you of where you must not always stay fixed. Look around you at the earth. You'll see the earth is not fixed. It's constantly ever changing, ever evolving, right? It has to yield and it has to withhold, but it never stays the same. The only constant is change. And although you like to remain a constant, and that's one of your higher qualities, is constancy, remember that you must not be stubborn. As this Empress card does talk about that. The ability to connect with the earth, and the creativity and the inspiration and the nurturing earth mother, I think this is something that you're contemplating right now in some aspect. Maybe not as direct as what I'm saying here, but there's something in your healing that you've learned in your meditative state, that you've learned through taking rest and quiet time for yourself, either in nature, or the realization has come to you that you need to connect with nature because you're not evolving, you're not moving, you're staying in the same spot, and there's only so much improvement that can happen there. Stagnancy is no good. It can be stable, it can offer a lot of security, and it can offer predictability. And I think that's why it appeals to a lot of people, is because for some people, predictability is stability and security. Until it isn't, you know. Your current desires, I feel like it's like sometimes you just get rambling on you can't even remember what your original point was. Temperance, current desires, temperance. Again, this is healing. You have additional healing you want to do. This is a Sagittarian card, so it's also about maintaining your temper, moderation. Also, learning where you need to moderate certain parts of yourself, certain indulgences, but also where you need to be on a more even keel. Is there something that you're taking to one extreme or another? See how this person is pouring from one cup to the other? That angel is pouring from one cup to another. That's the hot and the cold, the two different energies. You'll see this in the star card too. But again, it can also be about healing oneself of something that is a result of being operating out of one extreme or another, and not so much in the middle of something. Because it is ruled by Sagittarius, your current desire could be to travel, to take some sort of study that's going to help improve yourself in a way. Higher learning, though. It might be an achievement that you've always wanted to reach, like something that you've always wanted to attain as far as higher education that you haven't. And you feel like it would resolve something for you, I believe. Because there's a healing element to this. Yeah. What else? Something almost spiritual. Spiritual learning, spiritual teachings, higher learning, long distance travel. The tempering of two things, everything in moderation, healing oneself from where excess has created wounds, either spiritual or otherwise. What else? Current desires for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Alright. Ten of Cups. Trying to heal yourself from a situation where you once believed there was going to be great emotional fulfillment, but it did not come to fruition, or healing yourself in order to prepare for this eventuality. If we were going to take it to that if we were going to follow through with that thought process, you wouldn't be able to successfully carry on in a relationship of a Ten of Cups nature if you didn't go through the process of healing yourself, of learning moderation, of mastering your tempers, of connecting with yourself spiritually, resolving the things that you need to, and accomplishing what you're looking to. If you have an eye on traveling the world, or learning something, those aren't bucket list things you do when you're 70 after you've met the love of your life, man. Those are things that you need to do and get out of your system before you do this. Because this is when you're at home and settled in, there's kids playing there, and oftentimes there'll also be a dog in the background and all that stuff. This is being happy at home. This is a happy home life. Not a happy hotel. But yeah. Your current desire is to have that happy home life. Your desire is to be surrounded by those that you love, and being able to offer something to them. It's like a mutualism. But you do have something that you need to heal. I think that that there's something that needs to heal in order for you to reach the zenith of emotional fulfillment. What that is, I can't tell you. I'm just reading the cards. What you do not expect right now, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Knight of Cups. What you do not expect is poetic action being taken towards you. This is normally my Piscean card. Sometimes I see it as a Cancerian card, though. Just classically the way I learned tarot all those years ago. But now that I know better, Pisces energy. This is somebody like a knight in shining armor riding in on his white horse to rescue somebody. What you do not expect is, and this is riding in towards you. Normally, when I see horses traveling in this way, in this direction, it's energy traveling towards somebody. When horses are traveling in this direction, facing this direction, it's action being taken from your side towards somebody else. This is energy being, this is action being taken towards you. So this is poetic action. This is sweet nothings. This is romanticism. This is somebody who is saying all of the right things. This is what you don't expect. This is somebody taking this action towards you. Singing all the songs and sending all the lovely words, writing poetry, all that crap, Doesn't necessarily mean that it's always a good thing. We want it to mean that, but, more often than not when you do tarot, you don't see, and they lived happily ever after. It just doesn't work that way. What else do we have, and what you do not expect, Taurus? Okay, flip. Okay, 6 of coins. This is somebody who is looking for equal give or take, or you are in a period of time where you need to look at balance and equilibrium in your coin. This does not necessarily always mean material resources, because time does equal money, and time is a currency that you cannot get a refund on. This could also be energetic resources or spiritual resources, but it's a balancing act. It's realizing where one person is giving and another is taking, being the charity or the charitable. And in conjunction with this Knight of Cups energy, it could be that one person is love bombing the shit out of somebody, and the other person's like, yeah, please sir, may I have some more, and just loving it, but not really realizing that it's out of balance, it's out of whack, and it's not necessarily the most authentic. Or the alternative, which could be that, the other person's on the receiving end of it. You do not expect that somebody else is like, whoa, I really don't need you to do this. This is unnecessary. It feels fake as fuck, all that kind of thing, I think it could also be that these two things are not related to each other in the same way as what we're looking at here. You might be in a position where you have the ability to give or receive a little bit more than what you would normally be able to. You have an opportunity to donate to charity. You could need somebody's help financially, I would say beware of individuals who want to ride in, I'll save you, do you know what I mean? Because when things are out of balance, when these scales are out of balance, usually something else comes back in and knock them right back into balance. So, whether we like it or not, usually in the form of a tower. But yeah, I kind of feel like it's, you might not expect that somebody's going to come in and is going to have all these things to say and all this other crap, and they might even be throwing money at you or time. But there's something that they want. It's what you don't expect, right? So be careful about your resources. It could be that they think that they're buying your affections, or that, I don't think this happens as much now as it did when, because, I'm pushing 40. I'm going to be 40 in less than 6 months. But back in the day, we used to get warned when we were younger by our parents about, well, that guy spent all that money on you. He must want something. Careful, because he might expect something in return, that kind of thing. And then there came a paradigm shift to where it was like you're supposed to make the guy spend as much money on you as he can to make sure that he knew you were worth it and all this other stuff like that, which I know is total bullshit because most of my friends were always guys, you know what I mean? So you would hear all of the things, and then there came another, this silent movement of women who wouldn't let a man pay for anything for them. Although I can't really speak for women in that regard because I don't necessarily know. But, and especially not this generation. I have a kid who's an adult. And they're neurodivergent too. So, but it's a slippery slope, money and new relationships. And, so I remember when I was dating, I used to love going Dutch. Going Dutch. Does anybody remember that? Going Dutch with people where it was like you both paid for your own stuff. So there was none of this, oh, well, I paid, so you gotta, or, oh, well, they paid, so, it was just, yeah. I kind of feel like this has to do with something where it's like somebody's paying for something and it's a part of this knight in shining armor bullshit. And they feel like it's like brownie points that they're scoring, but it's knocking things out of equilibrium. And eventually somebody's going to feel like they have to pay the piper. Makes me feel uncomfortable. Because like I said, nowadays, like as a woman, I don't know if any other women feel this way, but I feel like when I was dating again after my divorce and stuff, I kind of felt like if I didn't pay, then I was a gold digger and I paid for everything. Like when I was like first dating guys, and you attract some pretty, shady people when you're paying the bill all the time. I dated a con artist for like a year. He was dating everybody at the same time. Yeah. Oh, it's pretty creepy. Wow, yeah. So anyway, just some food for thought on that. Be careful. Be careful. Don't let nobody go Dutch. Live into the Six of Coins energy. Don't let somebody come in, I'll save you. Let me pay for your everything, and then later you'll owe me something, or, oh, I'll pay for everything, don't worry, you're being so nice and romantic to me, let me pick up the bill, because you make me feel so great, No. Oh, man. Okay. Near future for you, Taurus. Queen of Cups in the reverse with the Queen of Coins in the upright. Oh, interesting. So we have two queens here. This is Capricorn energy. This is the feminine Capricorn individual is somebody who takes a house and makes it into a home. These are the luxurious, fine things. This is the person who comes into the house, flips on the lights, turns on the music, lights the scented candles, pours the glass of wine, turns on the music, puts food in the oven, and makes the place a home instead of just a house. They're also the ambitious, determined individual, somebody who is connected with material success, but also ruled by time. Somebody who dedicates her time to the people that she cares for the most, but also dedicates her time to caring for people the most by proxy with material comforts. And that can be making sure the bills are paid. That can be making sure that all of the lovely things are in the house. Making sure the fridge is stocked. It can be any of those types of things with the Queen of Pentacles. Also somebody who's rather indulgent. Somebody who absolutely does imbibe. But because it's not in the reverse, we're not going to say that it's somebody who's doing so to excess. They just like good food, good wine, good sex, all of those kinds of things. Now we have the Queen of Cups in the reverse. This is Cancerian energy. Queens are cardinal energy in the tarot. So Cancerian energy, this could be somebody who has both in their chart. But if you notice, we have Cancer and Capricorn here. These are opposites on the zodiac wheel. The Queen of Cups in the reverse is somebody who is emotionally volatile. They do not follow their intuition, or they follow their intuition but aren't connected with it. And so they might think everything is a sign from the universe and everything is this, and this, and they're never accurate about it. And so they kind of think they're following their gut and their intuition, but it's not actually that. They might be paranoid. They're not connected with their heart space like they should be. And again, like I said, emotionally volatile. Somebody who flies off the handle extremely easily. Stubborn. I'm just trying to think because, you know, we got to think of the alternatives here. Somebody who's normally supposed to be connected with their family, but is not. Somebody who is more intellectual than spiritually and emotionally inclined. Somebody who follows logic instead of emotion and intuition. But it doesn't even seem connected with that. They are not giving freely of their heart space. In fact, they're blocking their heart space. And you have these queens here at odds with each other in the near future. They're going head to head. I'm going to expand on this. I'm sorry. I know this is probably going to be like the longest reading. I feel like this is a timing. Near future. This isn't even actually near future unless we look at this from Capricorn season during the Cancer full moon. And the reason I say that is because, like I said before, this is a representation of the wheel of the year, and this being Capricorn, right? Capricorn season, which is December 21st through January 20th. What's going to happen then? For Taurus, what's happening then? Tell us more. I told you, I'm ruled by time, baby. I know. Let me see. There we go. What is it? 9 of Cups. This is where you are to practice self-love. It might be a challenge for you at this time. This is where you have to step up and exercise self-love. The love of self above all. Once you learn to love yourself, you can love other people, not before then. Otherwise, you'll just end up with a bunch of people surrounding you that know that you do not respect yourself enough to demand better of them. Yeah? Anything else on that? I'm just giving you this because you're the last sign. You had to wait so long. And because I was beaconing off for so long about all these other things. Page of Swords in the reverse. You're willfully, this is willful ignorance. You're avoiding something on purpose because you don't want to see the truth. You don't want to know something. You're turning a blind eye to something. But there's a heralding here. You're being heralded to love yourself. To recognize instead of turning a blind eye during Capricorn season. You're choosing to ignore something. Normally the Page of Swords in the upright is curiosity. It's somebody who is setting out to research something for the purposes of learning. Some people call this a stalker card. So it's somebody who's looking around at everything, looking at people's pictures, social media, their messages, their posts, in order to discover something. Could be a truth, could just be that they want to learn about somebody, that kind of thing. But in the reverse, it's willful ignorance. It's somebody who wants to avoid learning something, or is afraid to understand better, or afraid to know the truth. And in conjunction with the 9 of Cups, absolutely afraid to know the truth, because then they would actually have to step up and demonstrate their love of self. You know, it's easy to walk around saying, yeah, self-love, oh yeah, self-love. I love myself. I know what I need. I know what's best for me. I walk around surfing my highest good all the time, blah, blah, blah. It's another thing to do it. When you have to choose yourself over other people because that's what's best for you because you do actually love yourself, that's a fucking challenge and a half. You know, we hurt ourselves over and over and over and over again, to the detriment of ourselves, while talking out the other side of our mouths about how we love ourselves. Okay? When you actually demand better for yourself in situations and take blindfolds off and refuse to turn a blind eye to what's going on around you, or refuse to, what you no longer refuse, rather, to address what's happening around you when you know better. And you do address it, or you choose to no longer subject yourself to things you know are wrong and are going against your boundaries. That's self-love. That's exercising self-love. You know what I mean? It's the hard work. It's the tough work. It's not just, well, I disagreed with somebody, so I'm not going to talk to them ever again. No, it's like, well, this person hurts me over and over and over again, and I can no longer allow this in my life. And it's pretty effing serious. Case in point, I was talking about that one individual, that con artist, you know. You let somebody back in and back in and back in and back in again. However, at a certain point, you reach that last boundary. And it might have been, and it's so funny because sometimes people will get you to a point where you're willing to cross every boundary, break every rule that you have for yourself. But then it's almost like they want to see how many things they can get you to compromise within yourself, you know. But then there comes a place where the buck stops here, you know. And then, fuck that shit. There comes a time where it's like, okay, I'm no longer crossing my own boundaries that I set for myself and compromising my values and what I demand for myself and will not accept in a relationship. But now I'm hating myself by subjecting myself to this. I'm destroying myself by subjecting myself to this. And that's when the buck stops there, man, right? And then you can't look back after that. Once you know some things, once you decide, and the funny thing is like for me in my situation, in my experience, I knew there were some things that individual was doing with other women in particular that I had a pretty good feeling were happening. But I consciously chose to say to myself, I don't want to know. I'm pretty sure this is going on, but I don't want to see it and I don't want to know. So I'll look at it later when I'm ready. And once I found out, that was it. You know, I think during Capricorn season, this has gone on so long, this reading. During Capricorn season, there's going to come a time where it's going to be a choice over willful ignorance and allowing yourself to compromise your standards. And this is just an example, guys. Like, it could be anything. It could be work. It could be whatever. But it's going to come, the choice will be in between willful ignorance, choosing to ignore something, choosing to avoid seeing something for what it is, or choosing yourself. And I think that the buck will stop there. And it's going to be like, you're going to need to choose yourself. Because you can no longer turn a blind eye to something once it's like right in your face. You know? So, anyway, Near future is done. Let's look at the far future, the long distance future, the way out future for you, Taurus. Sun, moon, rising, and Venus. Yeah, there are just some times in life, man, where it's like it's unavoidable. How many times can you walk around pretending there isn't a middle finger sticking in your face? How many times can you walk around like, oh, you know, I don't see that middle finger. I don't see somebody telling me to go fuck myself. How many times can you do that? And that's not a real life example. It's an analogy. But how many times could you walk around pretending you don't see it? And like, does it have to smack you in the forehead? Probably. Pretty stubborn. But once that happens, and once you, okay, you know, that's it. I said I've had it with this dog. Do you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing, right? Okay. Anyway, that's enough of that. 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, so in the distant future, I think this is after you have decided that's it, I've had enough, F this, I'm out. In the near future, then comes along this 3 of Coins in the reverse in the distant future, where you're learning that you are no longer connected. That union, that perfect symphony of mind, body, and spirit isn't happening for you. And you need to get back connected with all 3 of those things equally. There has to be equilibrium in between all 3 of them, otherwise you're not a holistic being. You can, you know, put all of your effort and energy into being fit, eating well, sleeping right, everything's rocking with your body, you're great, you're healthy, but you have like the shittiest soul health ever. Or, you know, you've been totally like, your mindset is totally locked onto your spirituality, and you're connected with your creator, and you're meditating all the time, and you've been doing all these chakra cleansings, and you know, maybe you're vegan or whatever, and your eating is right, and you're taking care of your body, but you got a victimhood mindset, and you know, your shit ain't right up here, man. Do you know what I mean? You can't focus. You're not taking care of your mental health, you know? Because you know, there has to be that perfect concert of everything all at once. And it's difficult because, you know, there are so many aspects of the self to focus on all at once, right? But this is where you recognize that you have neglected the self for so long that there are things that you need to look at. This can also, by the way, it doesn't necessarily have to be this, but this is my interpretation of the 3 of Pentacles, is the union of mind, body, and spirit within oneself. In the reverse, it's not happening. It's not driving right, and you're trying to get it back into equilibrium. It can also be partnerships, contracts. So in the reverse, those not happening. Friendships, agreements in between friends. I don't see that as being the case. I think this is where you're learning. You're really coming out of a fog where you neglected one of those 3 aspects as a result of ignoring something that was right in your face that worked to the detriment of your self-love. Long-term future, finally for you, Taurus, is what it is. Okay, 3 of clubs. You got 3s here, eh? Yeah, queen for queen, 3 for 3. Could be during March of next year. It's a 3 of wands. Patience. Have patience with yourself. Normally this individual is kind of standing out over the shore, making sure that the seas are calm before he sets off and embarks on a journey. It's about being patient and understanding when is the right time to embark on the journey. It's not time yet. Your ship isn't ready to sail. You know what I mean? You got to patch up the, you know, hull, and you've got to make sure your sails are sturdy, and you got to make sure your crew is good before you set sail. I think that's during March. The reason being is because we have the 3 in reverse and the 3 in the upright. Anyway, bottom of the deck, we have Page of Coins in the reverse. This is a lack of It's usually a Page of Coins is usually a peace offering, a timepiece, a contract, or an agreement. Because it's in the reverse, there's a lack of offer. You've been waiting for an offer for quite some time that hasn't been coming through for you. And it's really starting to weigh on you, get on your nerves, that this isn't coming through for you. Could also be a tangible communication, something that you can bet on, but it's not happening. And I think that's kind of what's overarching, weighing on your mind a little bit. All right, numbers of significance for you, Taurus. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, what are your numbers of significance? We have 5, 8, 11, breaking down to a 2 and 5 again. 5s are about change. 8 is about the self. 11, breaking it down to a 2, is about equilibrium and pairs, partnerships. Okay, let's dig in here. Let's get your messages out of your magnetic poetry, and then we'll be done. I'm doing these in list format because I don't want you to think that I'm, making sentences. Okay, that's what I've got for you. Thank you very much for your time today, Taurus. If you like what I do, thumbs up. If it made sense, thumbs up. And subscribe, because, I'm changing things up around here. And, All right. We'll see you when we see you next. Okay, bye.